But so, folks, look, you know, the fact of the matter is that Andy and the plumbers and steam fitters hosting us today have been my friends for a long, long time. Matter of fact, the former international chairman is a close buddy, Jimmy Williams, and so by the way, he sends his best. I told him I was coming out, pal, and I was going to be here. And so, look, I've been a friend of labor my entire career, and I can promise you one thing, for those of you who care about unions. If, in fact, I'm elected president, you will never have a better friend in the White House than me in terms of organized labor. Look, you all know in your gut, whether it's your first election or your 50th election, well, it wouldn't be 50th, but your first or your 10th, 12th, 15th election for President of the United States, this is different. You feel in your gut there's something fundamentally different about this time out than any time in the past. Not because I'm running or any one of us is running, because what's at stake. There's more at stake in this election than any election, no matter how young or old you are, than any election you've ever voted in, period. And folks, you know, words of a president matters. It matters what they say. They can move markets, they can send brave men and women to war, their words can bring peace, they can calm a nation in turmoil, and they can console and comfort in times of tragedy. And they can literally inspire us to reach for the moon, which happened before. And folks, they can appeal to our better angels of our nature, but they can also unleash the deepest, darkest forces in this nation, which is what Donald Trump has chosen to do. When, in fact, he said after Charlottesville, those folks coming out of the fields carrying contorted faces, anger, spewing hatred, carrying Nazi banners, accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan, and a lovely young woman was murdered. He asked them, what do you think? He said there were, quote, good people on both sides. Good people. No president, no city president ever said anything like that. And ladies and gentlemen, he gave license and safe harbor to hate, and hate is a consequence of that. White supremacists, neo-Nazis, the KKK, that's who they were. That's who they are. Words that stunned the nation, I would argue, I know, shocked the world. International leaders spoke about it. You had people like you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in the energetic embrace of this president by some of the darkest hearts, most hate-filled people in this country. Say it all. David Duke, the former leader of the Ku Klux Klan, after what happened in Charlottesville, said, quote, that's why we voted for Donald Trump. He said he was going to take our country back. White nationalists like Richard Spencer hailed Trump by saying, this is the kind of white nationalism we elected him for. And what has he said? Did he reject any of them? Have you heard him condemn David Duke? Have you heard him walk away from any of this? No. Folks, our children are listening. Here's the point I want to make to you. Think about this. If in your public school or private school, whatever school your child goes to, if the principal of the United States, if the principal of that school stood up at an assembly and said any of the things this president said, what would you be doing? Not a joke. No joke. I'm being deadly earnest. You'd be calling for his resignation or her resignation. Right. You wouldn't stand for it. Tired of hearing me say this last week. Our children are listening. This has an impact. It's a profound impact. You know, we can overcome 4 years of Donald Trump, but 8 years of Donald Trump, in my view, will forever and fundamentally change the character of this nation. That's why we have to defeat Donald Trump in 2020. The reason I'm running is because I believe we have to restore the backbone of America, the middle class. As I said, Wall Street didn't build a country. As they say in Southern Valley, y'all built the country. You really did. Ordinary people, hard-working people, given half a chance, have never, ever, 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 ever let the country down. Not once. Given a shot. Not one single time. My dad used to have an expression. We moved out of Scranton, Pennsylvania when coal died. My dad, if you listen to Barack, you'd think I climbed out of a coal mine with a lunch bucket in my hand. I had a great-grandpapa who was a mining engineer from Lafayette, college, but I never worked in the mines, nor did my dad. He was a white-collar worker, high school educated guy. It's about being able to have the notion that you can look your child in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay. I give him more, that was his expression. All my siblings heard that, and he meant it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is, not many people can look their kids in the eye these days and believe that in fact everything's going to be okay. For the first time in American history, well, at least in the last 150 years, Americans look at one another, and the middle class is shrinking, not growing, shrinking. We're no longer the wealthiest middle class. Their studies show that if an average middle class person, an average American, got a bill for $400 in a month, they didn't expect it to go out and borrow the money, or they'd have to, in fact, not be able to pay it. Folks, middle class used to be kind of basic. It's not a number. I have a lot of economists working with me. They say 52,800 or 50. What it is, it's a value set. It's being able to own your home if you wish to and not have to rent it. Be able to send your kid to the local park and know they're going to come home safely. Be in a position where you can send them to the local school, and if they do well, they can go beyond that school. They can go to they can go beyond high school. And if they do, you'll be able to figure out how to get them there, wherever it is, whether it's trade school, whether it's community college, or beyond. It's being able to take your geriatric mom home after dad dies and take care of her. And be in a position that your kids never have to take care of you, you pray. Having a little bit of breathing room. A little bit of breathing room. There's not much breathing room. Because these guys have changed the deal here. They've changed the way in which we move. My North Star has always been whether or not we can restore the middle class. This time we restore it. We got to bring everybody along. And I mean everybody. Black, white, Asian, no matter what the background is. Poor, well, no, I really mean it. We got to bring everybody along. Because the reason why I know I'm called middle class Joe all the time. They say that, and it's not meant as a compliment, it's meant that I'm not sophisticated. I'm pretty darn sophisticated about what makes this country tick. And the reason why we've been stable all these years, when other countries in the midst of crisis have fallen apart, including other democracies, is because we've had a middle class that believed that tomorrow would be better. There was a chance. If you just worked like the devil, you could make it better. Well, folks, if we don't restore that, we have a real problem. And as I said, middle class is more of a value set. It's about being able to have a good education, economic opportunity, have a job that you get to, there used to be this basic bargain in America. If you participated in an outfit, whether it's a corporation or a company that did well, everybody shared the benefits. If it did poorly, everybody got hurt. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not the case anymore. I have a car. You saw how many people lost their jobs, not because Amazon are bad guys, but all those salespeople, or 200,000 of them, making an average of 50 grand a year, average age 50. All of a sudden they wake up one morning and there's no more jobs. Look at what's happening across the board. What are we going to do? We don't talk to these people's fears and their concerns. They're real, but there's many things we can do about it. One of which is we got to get in a position where there's continuing education available that's free or affordable. We can put every single solitary person in community college, those who lost jobs and get retrained, which is hard to do, it takes a lot of courage to go back, and those who qualify in the first place, for $6 billion a year. You say, well, there goes that big spending Democrat pie, you're going to spend $6 billion. Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. It's called stepped up basis. It means you make a capital gain, you're about to go cash it in, God forbid you get hit by a truck and you die, you leave it to your son or daughter, they pay no tax. Out of $1.4 trillion. It's hard to even say it so much. Tax loopholes. That's one that costs $17 billion a year. I could put every single solitary kid, every person qualified for a community college degree and or trade school and or a certificate for $6 billion a year and have $11 billion left to reduce the deficit instead of giving tax breaks for racehorses or God knows what else is out there. But I'm told that, well, Biden's been around too long. And then they tell me I'm naive. Now that's kind of interesting. Around too long and I'm naive. I hope at least that with time spent, you get a little bit of wisdom. watching things that have gone before. And ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is we can't do what we have to do without two things happening. One, defeating Donald Trump, and two, bringing the nation together. We can't do it to divide a nation. Our system doesn't work that way. It requires us to reach a consensus. That's the limitations we put in three equal branches of government. The Congress, the courts, and the presidency. They're equal. They're not, one's not more powerful than the other. And if you notice what happens, this president demonizes all three branches, including the courts, including the Congress, even when they're run by Republicans. Why? So he can abuse the power. He says they're not acting, so I'm going to use the executive power that he doesn't possess. We can't function that way. And look, the American people have finally figured out. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Even those 30-some%. Think about it. They know who he is. Find me any Trump supporter who will attest to his character. Say they want their kid to grow up with the same values as he has. I'm not joking. Think about it. They may be with him because they benefit from his tax cut. They may be with him because a very small minority of them share his view on supremacy of whites, etc. It's a small number that share that view. But the fact of the matter is, this is about who we are, not just everybody knows who he is. We gotta know who we are. We choose unity over division. We choose hope over fear, for real. We choose science over fiction. I haven't even begun to talk about global warming. I'm not going to do it to you now unless you ask me about it. But here's the deal, guys. Here's the most important thing. We choose truth over lies.